Hello Internet, it's Lintus. So in this video, I'd like to discuss a mid-game transition from the early game of Genshin Impact to approaching what is considered the end game, which is floor 12 of the Spiral Abyss. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So I mentioned before that sort of the first layer of progression that you want to target is character level 40 and the weapon level 40. So similarly, the next layer of progression that you want to target is character level 60 and weapon level 60. And of course, for the characters, you want to get their 4th ascension in order to get their final passive. This is especially important on certain characters like Fischl, which a lot of her damage comes from her Ascension 4 passive, and Cookie Shinobu because the conversion from Elemental Mastery to Healing Bonus is on her Ascension 4 passive. So once you've gotten characters to level 60 and weapons to level 60, you can go ahead and upgrade your weapons to level 70. You can try to get them to 80, but without proper artifact sets, the last tier for the weapon ascension domain is going to be really hard. So I think it's best to wait until you have access to proper artifact sets. As for character talents, they haven't been relevant up until now. I do suggest you get them to level 4 or 5 for the relevant talents. So for example, Fischl's elemental skill, which is the Odd Summon, Xiangling's elemental burst. As for characters like Keqing, both her elemental burst and her elemental skill are important for aggravate teams. If you're not sure what to level up, I suggest looking up a character guide for the specific character you want to level up. I suggest Keqing mains. They have guides for most of the characters. Now you can try to level them up to 6 if you really want to. However, the last tier of the talent domain books are unlocked after AR45. So you're a little bit inefficient if you want to farm them now. And if you wait until AR45, I just think that getting your proper artifacts is a higher priority than getting talent books. And once you have established a baseline for your artifacts, then you can go back and farm for talent books to get your talents to 6 and possibly more. So speaking of artifacts, here's my suggestion once you get to AR45 on what to prioritize, on what artifacts to farm. So the first priority that I would do is to farm a Viridescent Venerer set. It doesn't have to be even the correct main stat, just having the full set on your animals will greatly boost their supportive capabilities. And it's also possible if you plan to use a Dendro team that heavily relies on Dendro damage, such as Bloom teams, Hyper Bloom teams, Virgin teams, etc. Then farming the Deepwood memory set can also be a priority. Again, you just have to complete the set. We're not even talking about the correct main stat, just completing the set. And then I would start farming for your damage dealers / carries. For example, the Emblem of Severed Fate for Xiangling or Raiden Shogun, Thundering Fury for Keqing, or Blizzard Strayer for Kaya. A note on the Strongbox, I don't suggest you use the Strongbox in this early stage of farming for artifacts, just because you could actually use the artifacts as EXP to get your artifact sets to level 20. And once you have established your complete set, then I think it's a lot more useful to use the Strongbox to fodder your unused or undesirable 5-star artifacts. What you're looking for is completing a set with the right main stats and meeting your energy recharge requirements. This is what I would consider the first layer of artifact farming for damage dealers. Then, after you meet these 3 requirements, complete set, right main stat, and ER requirements, then you can move on to farming artifacts for your supports. Support artifacts are things like Noblesse Oblige, Tenacity of the Millilith, the Deepwood Memory set again if you haven't farmed that. You can also go back to the Viridescent Venerer set because this time we're actually looking for the right main stats. So you're looking for triple EM for Sucrose, for example. But speaking of support artifact sets, I would highly advise you to keep some Instructor and Exile pieces from the 4 stars. These two 4-star artifact sets are situationally very good on certain characters in certain teams, so it's a good idea to keep some of them, especially ones with energy recharge in their substats. Braxaphone did a video recently on these two 4-star artifact sets, so if you want a more in-depth look on what pieces to keep and why they're good, then I suggest watching his video. It's very good. And so after farming for your supports, now you have established a baseline for your artifact sets, and now you can farm for your talent books and your weapon ascension materials. And at that point, it's basically a cycle of farming for talent books, then weapon ascension material, and trying to improve your artifacts. And in the future, I will probably be discussing what exactly is late game or end game investment. What's good enough to beat floor 12? But unfortunately, my new account isn't there yet, so we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, that was most of the video. This part of the video is just a progress report on the new account. I've sort of been kind of dragging my feet in doing the world quest. I have gotten all the way to the Archon quest of Sumeru. I finished the Archon quest of Inazuma and got to Sumeru, and I finished Act 1. And I finished Act 1 just because there's an event that requires you to finish Act 1. Unfortunately, I'm not at AR 45 yet. As I said, I've been kind of lazy in doing the world quests. Been kind of burned out in Genshin. Having 2 accounts is just too much, and doing everything the second time is just not as exciting. For example, I had to do all that fishing for the catch again, which is... it's actually not as bad as I thought it would be, but I haven't fully refined the catch, so maybe refining it is the true pain. As for the gacha, I decided to skip Nilo for the most part. I did put in like 20 wishes to maybe snipe Beidou. It didn't happen, so I don't have Beidou, which means I don't have Taser. Wait, I don't have Xingqiu either. So I'm not quite sure what my teams are. I know that I've invested in Keqing, Fischl, Sucrose, Xiangling, and Kaya. And I'm debating on whether or not I want to invest on Candice, because I'm not sure I'll be able to get a Xingqiu. But next patch I'll be able to guarantee Nahida, and it'll be November, so Bennett will be in the glitter shop. Oh, speaking of Bennett, I've been enjoying using Electro Traveler to battery Xiangling actually. It's probably not the best long term, but I've grown a new appreciation for Electro Traveler. And yeah, that's it. That's the video. It's probably a bit shorter than usual. And yeah, thank you for watching.